It's time for football, and that means we're talking sports. Horse racing, greyhound racing, and sports betting with your host, Kip Keefer. Don't just watch the action. Get out to Birmingham Greyhound Racing and put a bet on it. Here are today's tips and strategies to help you get in the winning game. Now here's Kip Keefer.
Let's do this thing. Week 3 college football right around the corner. Kip Keefer and the Legend ready to go on this Saturday to get you everything you need informationally and just get you fired up for another football Saturday. Legend Week 3 already. We are cruising along. We wait all summer for this, and then all of a sudden, we're a fourth of the way through the season.
Week 3, Kip, big games, playoff implications across the board. Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn, and LSU. A war of the Tigers today, Kip. It's exciting. I know everybody out there pumped. We're 30 minutes away from tea and another Saturday, baby.
Yeah, it's great for our in-state teams, Alabama and Auburn today, after playing kind of let's call them what they were. Cupcake game for Auburn. It was a Division I opponent for Alabama, but they were just the guest of honor to be roasted in the home opener. Today it's big league games and a lot to talk about. We will cover Alabama and Auburn thoroughly in the second segment. But to kick things off, and first of all, I need to tell you that we are brought to you by Birmingham Greyhound Racing. The gates are open. It is going to be a huge day out there, a fantastic lineup of racing action, 2 o'clock for Greyhounds, and then again at 7:15 live on the track. All the great simulcasting from around the country, and the parlay contest for sports and football. The Legend. He was red hot last week.
Red hot, didn't miss a game. If you missed it, you failed to get paid. And you know what they say, if you don't get paid, you don't get laid.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I guess that's probably true. But let's take a look at last week in review. Last week you called it good, bad, and ugly, but we're going to revert back so we can talk a little bit more down and dirty here on the SEC week that was. It's our segment on SEC gossip called
Shut Your Mouth.
Legend, what is the most gossipy shut your mouth item from week 2 that pops in your head? I'll throw one out to get us started. There were a couple of, after a 13-1 first week, there were a couple performances that were less than stellar, more than a couple actually, and a couple outright losses. Man, woo, pig suey.
Wow.
What a stinker at Colorado Springs.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Kentucky finally, ladies and gentlemen.
After all these years.
Wow, 31 years.
The Cats go to Gainesville and kick Dan Mullen and the Gators in the posterior. So what's your thoughts on the bad side of SEC play last week?
Well, Florida, you have to look at Florida. 31 years you have defeated Kentucky. In Dan Mullen's first year, boom, the streak is over. What a way to introduce yourself.
The Zookster never lost to Kentucky.
The Zookster never lost to Kentucky. Come on. McElwain never lost to Kentucky.
Galen Hall.
Galen Hall never lost to Kentucky. But Dan Mullen's in his first year, just horrible, Florida fans. And the way Georgia is recruiting down there, I mean, has the state of football ever been worse in the state of Florida than it is right now? Just ugly Florida fans, just ugly. I wouldn't even call it a chop no more. I just call it like a little wiggle or something.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. Florida State, and Miami all off to very, very poor starts. It would have been inconceivable, 8-10 years ago.
Yes, and look, Sanford almost beat
They came this close.
Right down the road here at Birmingham. What is that, Techno College, Sanford? I'm sorry, Sanford fan, great team now. But they nearly beat Florida State. I mean, this is horrible. Willie Taggart is a disaster. Dan Mullins is a disaster. I mean, Mark Richt, he was a disaster at Georgia. The whole state of Florida, USF and UCF is the 2 most exciting teams down there, Kip.
So in the SEC West, you had, as I mentioned, Arkansas went to Colorado State if you missed it, and if you did, There's no disgrace there. Nobody cared about that game, and particularly the Hogs, apparently, because a very mediocre Colorado State Rams team ran them out of the stadium out west.
Yeah, it was horrible. Right here, get your power bill paid right here. North Texas +8. They'll probably beat Arkansas this week. They're going. Now, this is one of my upset picks. Definitely with the 8 points you're getting paid, but I look for North Texas to beat Arkansas. Horrible team. Chad Morris is in way over his head. You got Nick Saban, you got Jimbo Fisher, you got all these great guys ahead of you. Just a total waste of 3 or 4 years of horrible Arkansas football. I'm predicting your future, Arkansas.
On the good side, great road win for Mississippi State. They're everything we thought they were going to be.
Wow.
To go to Kansas State, which is a pretty tough team at home, and they just owned that game.
You know, as an Alabama fan, I'm not scared of LSU. Auburn, you got no running game. You don't scare me. Georgia, we know you got all the talent, but you always just fail when it really counts. But that Mississippi State team, Kip, they look like the dadgum Pittsburgh Steelers out there. I mean, they are huge. I'm talking about 320, 340, 350 running backs, receivers that look like the Hulk. And Fitzgerald is back. I mean, that's a dangerous football team. I think they're the third best team in the SEC behind Alabama and Georgia.
Well, we got to go to break, but deal with it, America. In my estimation, 4 of the top 6 teams right now in the US of A, the SEC members. We'll talk about the Alabama and Auburn specifics in our next segment. Stay with us. Welcome aboard. It's Talking Sports on ABC 3340.
My name's Travis, and I talk sports with Kip and Legend.